Yes, guys. Yes, people. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. Big up to every single one of you that's locked in. For me, this is take 2 because my dumbass didn't switch the mics on the last video. So, yeah, we're reloading this again, people. Big up to every single one of you that's locked in, though. Day 56 of the 1,461-day reign as your world champs. You guys already know what to do as soon as you enter into the building. Hit the like button. Subscribe, let us know your thoughts down in the comment section below. It is good to be back. There's been a bit of a quiet international break, as it usually is. The first international break after the transfer window ends is such a humbler because you end up just sitting there thinking, rah, this is a forced holiday. We'll make the most of it. It is what it is, but yeah, it's a bit of a forced holiday. But there is some news to delve into because we've learnt quite a bit about the terms of Nicolas Jackson's loan. And it is very intriguing. I'm sure a lot of you would have seen it by now. If not, this is from Hoeneß. I hope I didn't butcher his name. This brother right now is the club's honorary president at Bayern Munich. He is also a member of the supervisory board. He's a former general manager, a former deputy chairman of the board. He has a lot of influence in Bayern. He does have a lot of influence in their current direction as well, and he does have an influence in their finances. So this guy is a very big name in Bayern Munich. And he said on Nicolas Jackson, that's not a 16.5 million loan fee in euros because the player and his agent are contributing 3 million. This is kind of unimportant, but it's leading into the big stuff. It will definitely not be a permanent contract. Now, that is interesting. Definitely not be a permanent contract. This will only happen if he plays 40 games from the start. And the man literally said afterwards he will never do that. That is crazy, by the way. You're not playing 40 games. You're not starting 40 games. You are not that guy. You're not that guy. That is insane. But that's just blunt. It is what it is. Near impossible that he gets 40 starts, though. I do want to just start off with that. For reference, Harry Kane had 51 starts last season. If you take out the Club World Cup, because obviously Jackson can't appear in that. It's a 4-year event. World champions get to know. But if you take that out, we're at 46 appearances. Jackson also has AFCON. So even if everything goes in his way, like he has a brilliant start to life at Bayern, he's starting week in and week out. God forbid, but if there's an injury crisis and he gets more minutes, he's still got AFCON. And that's still going to impact his starts. Because, yeah, Bundesliga's got an international break and all of that. Cool. It's only 2 weeks. AFCON is a lot longer than 2 weeks. And Senegal will be one of the favorites to progress far in that tournament. So they're probably not going to see Jackson anytime soon into AFCON anyway. So it doesn't really seem like it's going to be the goodbye that Jackson expected. Now, overall, I do think his time at Chelsea is done. Because ultimately, you see the way Nicolas Jackson was moving in press conferences. I don't mean in a disrespectful way, because I don't think Jackson said anything disrespectful. But the way he was moving was in a way that was saying goodbye. It was a way that was saying farewell. He was saying, I'm moving on. I've had a good time here. We've won a lot of trophies, but I need to move on to the next phase of my life. He was talking about how he'll miss his teammates and all of that, and the fans and everything, but he's moving on. It's a new chapter in his life. He wants to move on to the next chapter. That was very apparent in the vibe from him and his agent throughout the entire saga. I already said as well, I have no real beef with Jackson for not wanting to come back after we tried to pull the loan move. Like, because if he was still at Cobham doing that, I'd think it's snaky. But if there was an agreement for you to go on loan and we tried to go back on it, I get him for saying no. No, we had an agreement. You said I could leave. Why are you going back on your word now? I kind of understand that. But this is something I didn't expect. And there's going to be another narrative going around. People are going to say Jackson's been done dirty, or Bayern have done Chelsea dirty, or Bayern are doing Jackson dirty. No. I want to say all of those narratives are false. We haven't been done dirty. Bayern haven't been done dirty. They definitely haven't. Jackson hasn't been done dirty by his agent. Everybody agreed to this. Everybody agreed to this. Chelsea agreed to the loan terms. Jackson and his agents agreed to the loan terms. They literally paid 3 million euros out of their own pocket for this. So nobody's got done dirty here. We also needed that money because we know about us, our net spend restrictions from UEFA. And we've broken even. I don't think it's by much, though. I think we're allowed a loss of 20 million max. And I'm not sure if we worked out a loss. I think it's come down to like 2 million. So from what I've read from here, it's 285 million we've spent on new signings, and we've balanced it by 283.5 million in sales. So it is a loss, but not really by much for UEFA to really like start hitting us with regulations anyway. So we kind of needed that. We still kind of needed that. So it worked out for Chelsea. It's worked out for Bayern. It's worked out for Jackson. Jackson might not get the permanent move to Bayern that he wants, because even if Bayern can renegotiate, and they might, I would assume that Chelsea will still retain their valuation for Jackson, which will be around 60 to 70 million pounds. Bayern are not paying that. Not unless Harry Kane leaves next summer and Jackson just has that good of a season at Bayern, which I don't see either happening. Kane's got no reason to leave. And Bayern, well, I don't really see Jackson having that mad of a jump at Bayern. I think he could do well there. So I think the Bundesliga would suit his style of play. There's less low blocks, a lot more teams play high up. That's something Jackson would prefer to play under. But I don't think he's going to have that much of a jump that Bayern would instantly be willing to fork out the amount that we would want for him. So I think Jackson will end up returning next summer and then finding a permanent club based on how his time at Bayern goes. Because where Jackson will want to move on, I think Chelsea will as well. And there's been enough rumblings about us bringing, what's his name, Emmanuel Omega back from Strasbourg next summer, and him being the number 3 option. That seems to make too much sense to me. So I think Omega comes in next summer. He's our number 3 striker. And then Jackson probably comes back and then gets sold, ideally for the money that we're still looking for. So ultimately, it still works out for everybody. Like, the terms just basically mean, yeah, Jackson, you're coming back. You're coming back. Enjoy your time over there. Enjoy the Bundesliga trophy and all of that, but you're coming back. You're going to be back here next summer. Just probably not for too long. But nobody's been done dirty, in my opinion. Maybe Ulai didn't need to say it like that in the press room. Like, just deep. I want to bring it up one more time. He will never do that. There will definitely not be a permanent contract. That's a bit crazy. That's a bit crazy for a guy who has only just walked through the door to just like kill off his dreams like that. But here's what it is. Jackson will be back next summer, and we should ideally be getting the P's for him then. So yeah, big up to Jackson. You're a good dude and all of that. And best of luck in your future endeavors. Sadly, we can't be saying the same thing for Raheem Sterling, because there seems to be a reluctance from Chelsea to pay Sterling up. He appears reluctant to give Chelsea an easy route out of their agreement. Both stances are somewhat understandable. Now, this is coming from rumors that teams in Turkey and Saudi Arabia have been trying to lure Sterling towards them. And we know what Sterling's ambitions are. I want to stay in London. I want to stay with my family. So he's immediately rejected all of those options. Chelsea don't want to pay him out because we already know our price cap restrictions. We are not going to burn 20, 30 million on just paying Sterling out of his contract. We're just not going to do it. So we kind of just have to sit here and hold this L for the next 2 years. I get Sterling's side. Still pisses me off. Don't get it twisted. But I get his side. Nobody's walking away from 325k a week. Nobody's doing that. It is what it is. We have to charge that. But with that in mind, that means he ain't going anywhere because he don't want to leave the city. We just made a big L with this transfer, and we kind of have to hold this one. But that is all the transfer news at Chelsea Football Club. Nicolas Jackson, big up. I hope you have a good year over there, except on the 17th, when you face your world champions. You still got to hold this smoke, just like everybody else. But bar that, I hope you have a good time at Bayern. And I hope we get our money for him next summer. Let me know you guys' thoughts down in the comment section below. As always, it's been great to be back. Shout out to the community every single time. I will see you lot very, very soon. Take care. Like, subscribe, and your world champs have left the building.